Hello, my name is Jupiter Hadley, and today we're doing another version of Jupi Plays All the Games, this time with a self-care jam too. This was not strictly a game jam. You could make a poem, a game, knit a sweater, draw a picture, make a song, basically anything that you wanted to create that was for yourself and made you happy. It doesn't need to be a big message about the state of the world, it's just something for you. I'm playing everything that was entered in this jam for a minute each. Links to the individual games will be in the description, about 10 per video, so you can check them out further for yourself. All my info will also be in the description, so you can check me out as well on social media and whatnot. This video, as always, is brought to you by lovely people on Patreon who support me each month, so I can continue to record all of these game jam games and play all of these indie games and create all this content. If you like what I do, consider supporting me. At the end, I'll probably have an article of my favorites. Alright, next. We're playing Monster Girl University. These graphics look really nice. It's been a few months since I finished high school and started my college applications. All my former classmates seem to have set a goal in mind, but I have no idea where I want to be. The sad thing is, I'm not even sure if this is the route that I want to take. There must be so much more to do in life, other than meeting the standards and expectations of others, including my own parents. Going online and finding more information about which schools to attend, there's nothing about it that sounds enticing to me. I think I'm going to figure out which schools I'd want to attend and settle things today. I'm sitting and staring at my tablet next to me, feeling uneasy about deciding upon which school to attend. Your tablet's sitting in front of you, and you hesitate to want to pick it up and move forward with your applications. There isn't much to do here. Shelves around the library are stacked with many kinds of books. Alright, let's read. The shelf contains a huge pile of dictionaries. They're not interesting to you at this moment. Massive collection of different language books rest upon this shelf. An elementary Spanish book falls from the shelf and you scroll through its contents. Oh dang, I gotta pick this back up and put it where it belongs. I don't have time to learn Spanish right now. Okay, well maybe we should just do the tablet thing. You look at the tablet you brought to the library, and it's filled with tabs and a browser with multiple college informations. You stare at the applications that's saved on your device with absolutely no motivation to keep applying to all these universities without a goal in mind. Do you want to keep applying to universities? Yes. You decided to apply to 4 different prestigious universities. You got accepted to the second best university in the nation. You decided to go for entrepreneurship and technology. Entrepreneurship. You exceed in your studies and advance from a mere student to someone who's above and beyond most. You just got your first job. It pays a high enough salary that you could afford to buy a new home in the countryside suburb with your annual income every year. However, there's just one thing you failed to achieve in life, and that is something you wish you could have gone back and done again. You have no partner. You are isolated alone, spending 14 hours a day at work, going back home to merely sleep, just to wake up again. We'll save up for a couple of years and then quit. Go back to work. Is there something you could have done differently? Life is filled with many choices, but the choices are always there. You just have to do better with your life. Aw, that was short. Next. We're playing Make It Last. This also looks like it has really nice graphics. Like this watercolor. When Jordan was 12, his family moved from South Korea to a little town in the United States, located in northern Idaho. When he was saying goodbye to his best friend before the move, Jordan kept thinking about how he wanted nothing more than to kiss this boy. He realized that his intense feelings of friendship were mixed in with an intense romantic crush. His realization had been confusing because he never knew that he could even have a crush on another boy. Upon this realization, he looked back on his life and knew that he just never felt the same way about girls. He felt like he had broken some rule that everyone else knew, but no one ever filled him in on. When Harvey was 12, he was playing hide-and-seek with his sister. Harvey had decided to hide in his father's bedroom closet. Harvey had forgotten that there were rules at the start of the game. Stay outside, hiding in the house is off limits. You must stay in the neighborhood. Harvey had been sitting on the floor to the closet when he noticed a stack of magazines on the top of a box in the corner. The box was labeled Martin's Crap. Harvey grabbed a magazine off the top of the stack. The cover had a nearly naked woman. Harvey skimmed through the magazine. He felt grossed out by the time he got to the end. He briefly questioned if wanting to see other girls naked was normal, and if he was not normal, because he knew that he wished that there had been men in that magazine. Harvey tossed the magazine back on the stack and continued hiding. Okay. When Jordan was 14, he came out to his brother, Stefan. Stefan was supportive. He hugged Jordan, who had started crying during all of this, and told him that he would always be there for Jordan. Jordan choked out a question through his tears. What should I do? Stefan paused. He understood what Jordan was afraid of immediately. He looked at Jordan and told him, if you don't want to come out to them, you don't have to. But I'd like to say that Mom and Dad would be supportive. But he had trailed off. Jordan nodded. That's sad. When Harvey was 14, he was helping his mother in the garden. His father came home from work and shook his head as he passed by the two of them. Harvey's mother glared at his father. Harvey asked his mom why his father was always upset with him. She put a gentle hand onto his and said that Harvey's father was traditional about how things should be. She followed it up by saying that there was nothing wrong with doing what makes you happy as long as it doesn't harm other people. Harvey was confused, but hearing that from her made him happy. Later that night, Harvey asked his father what would make him happy. His father replied by telling him that he'd be happy if Harvey manned up. The following school year, Harvey signed up for the football team. Wow, that's really beautiful. When Jordan was 16, his mother was sitting down at the dinner table when he got home from school. His mother spoke in a stern tone. Honey and Jin, I don't know how to say that. New index entry. Ooh, what's this? Okay, so it has a Korean bilingual character that occasionally speaks in their first language. This index lists the translated words. Okay. Alright, so this is Jordan's birth name. Oh, okay. This is a really interesting, really well written narrative. Next. We're playing Chasing Birds. Hold left, right. Okay. Oh, silly dogs scaring away the birds. Look, we can run in the water as well. Oh, there's a ball. This is really cute. I wish we could dig in these little sand piles. Like, make humans play with us. Sorry, birds, you have to fly away. Because I am a dog and I rule this land. This is a very relaxing little experience. Next. We're playing BONZEN. Alright. I like the shape of the house I live in. Oh, and we can kind of trim these trees. Here we go. Kind of want this tree to be small. I want this side to be small, I should say. I don't really know how bonsai trees are meant to look. I guess it's a bit more kept. I guess we'll take away these because they look kind of off. I feel like there's lots of spots that need to be trimmed, but I'm not quite sure if I'm doing it right, you know? I feel like I need to read a book first. The story behind this is I'm a man in space. That's why my house is weird shape, and I'm trying to bring back, like, wildlife. Well, not wildlife, but greenery. Let's just take a look at this one real quick. Oh, this one's very bright green. Next. We're playing Comfort. Oh wow, this looks beautiful. This gem, it's got some very high quality things in it. Oh wow. These little cat mice. Little cat mice, little cat lizards. Alright, so what am I meant to do? Is the question. I'm kind of reading my book. So does it hover blue when there's something I can touch? Yeah, okay, good to know. Oh, it's windy out. It's sunny out. I like that these cats are just playing with little wands. Maybe this is it. Maybe it's like just a little interactive sort of art piece. It's not really any goals or anything other than to look at it and to play around a bit. It's definitely super calm to be a cat reading. It's a very nice house as well. A little cluttered, but that's okay. Next, we're playing Anything But True and Honest. I can't understand why a girl like you, he began, and fell right into the oldest conviction in the world, that a girl like you are in love with can't possibly be anything but true and honest. Where am I? What happened to me? Oh, that's right. That man took me and beat me. It probably serves me right. For most of my life, I've always been an outcast. My parents hated me and ended up running away from my old life after they died. No one has ever been there for me, so maybe a fresh start is good. The last thing I remember is being beaten by Mr. Edwards, the man I pretty much sold myself to. He wasn't happy when I told him how I truly felt about him. But maybe I deserve... Miss? Who's that? I don't recognize that voice. Did someone find me? I'm not sure if taking in a girl like me is the best thing for anyone's well-being, though. Are you all right, miss? Who are you? Thank goodness you're awake. This is a cute style. I was so worried when I found you. There were bruises everywhere. You're terribly hurt. How long have I been here? A few days. You suddenly started moving a little and making some noises, so I thought you'd wake up. And surely enough, you did. The man's face grew more and more red, and Kathy could tell he was getting flustered by being around her. Are you all right? You don't seem to be feeling well yourself. I might as well try to warm him up to me. It's already clear that he's attracted to me, which isn't much of a surprise. He's probably had a very little experience with women, so this shouldn't be difficult. I'll just do whatever I have to do to ensure I have a place to stay for a while longer. Well, I'm quite alright. I've just been so worried, you know. Seeing a beautiful woman hurt, it's enough to make my respectable man upset. Make any respectable man upset. Kathy put on a sweet smile and giggled at the man's words. You're so kind, and could I perhaps have the name of my sweet savior? Right, forgive me, I should have told you sooner. It's Adam Trisk, and could I ask what your name is? Kathy. Kathy, what a fitting name for someone so pretty. Oh, was that too out of line? Again, please forgive me. I have a habit of sometimes saying my thoughts out loud when I really shouldn't. There's no need to be sorry, Adam. You're very sweet. Well, in that case, I'm glad to have made you smile. Just how easy is this guy? He's already eating out of the palm of my hand. The door suddenly burst open and a tall, rougher-looking man appeared. Who's he? Is he glaring at me? He definitely looks a lot tougher than Adam. You're awake? Good. Now you can leave. You don't need to stay here anymore. I could definitely work with this guy. At the very least, I could just have some fun. Charles, is that any way to speak to a woman? What does her being a woman have to do with the way I'm speaking to her? She doesn't live here, so she can leave. Charles, it's not fair to her. We have to let her stay here for at least a little while. Please, Adam, I've already intruded enough, haven't I? I'd hate to be in your way for any longer. It seems like no matter where I go, I'm always in someone's way. Kathy, that's not true. Please don't say that. And you can stay here. I'll make sure Charles doesn't say such ridiculous things anymore. Fine, do what you please. I'm not being nice to her, though. I can already tell that she's just no good. Yeah, I feel like I am just no good. It's going to be interesting, playing a character that's no good with such a nice and helpful person, basically. Next. We're playing floor. You lie on the cool tile floor of your kitchen. You think to yourself, I could really go for some cheese right now. You reach for the cheese on the counter, but you remember you're still on the floor. The floor is still cool on your back. The sunlight coming in from the window warms your feet. You close your eyes. You think back to your childhood, back when your mother made you take harpsichord lessons. You consider your past potential before quitting to play versus varsity ultimate frisbee with the cool kids. You hated ultimate frisbee, but you've always been better at sports than music anyways. Then again, we can't have it all, you say out loud to yourself. You start to consider getting up from the floor, consider the pros and cons of the matter. You think about all the things you can do with your day, like online shopping, listening to music, and eating cheese products. However, these are all things that involve moving. You remember you left some loose Cheetos in your pocket to save for later. After briefly considering eating your pocket Cheetos, you remember that you put those Cheetos in your back pocket, so they're probably all crushed now since you're lying on the floor. Also, you're allergic to cheese. You stop thinking about Cheetos and start to reminisce about all the dairy products that could have been eaten by you throughout your life. Then again, who needs dairy? Not you, that's for sure. You could die if you had ice cream. You could really go for some hummus right now, though. You remember you left some hummus in your pocket. You eat the pocket hummus. Today was a good day. Good ending. Good end. That was adorable. Just eating some food and sitting on the floor. Next. We're playing Space Wolf Tango. Hey you. You're a cool wolf head in space. Pretty rad. I like my animations like those well. It's easier up here, where you're very cool and can fly. Up here you don't have to care about anything, and that's good. Okay. Take a look, y'all. Every bit of introspection is painful. Welcome to Space Station Century 12. Come on in. Oh, I'm in the space station now. You create elaborate fantasies to escape to and fear their revival. Reveal. Sorry. You are afraid of yourself or anything else that could pull you apart. I'm not sure if I like it too much inside the space station. Oh, there's a ghost. Hey, I'm Gerald. Welcome to my sweet pad. These are my friends. Oh, we're all friends here, haha. In times of seclusion, you seek respite in places that you can control. When you were young, there weren't any fear in meeting new people. Now you stay in your room for days on end. Maybe this is recharging. Maybe that's a part of growing up. This is where we all go to chill out away from things. Haha, haha, haha. You can only write about one thing, and you do it all the time. It's you. Sometimes you can look out the window and wish you could just go wherever you want to. Luckily, you can, because you're a flying wolf head, as I understand. Sometimes I wonder if I spend too much time caring for myself and not doing other shit. I love this show. It's got issues, but ultimately, in times like this, I'll take what I can get. I wake up in the morning, and I'm sad. I'm well adjusted, and I sleep fine, and every day my friends are jealous of me and my accomplishments, especially Gerald. Gerald thinks I am rude. Oh, this is not a fun room. No LOL. It's hard to know who I am some mornings because everything feels so difficult. I don't know how to apologize for this. I simply continue. It's a very interesting look into what I'm guessing is a developer's thinking in their life. I don't know, it's a really interesting little game. Next. We're playing Lunum Waits. Lunum Waits. You seek Mr. Renstorm, then. You are not the first traveler to come in search of him, nor I think will you be the last. I will not attempt needlessly to dissuade you. I will aid you and hope your time here will be as brief as all the rest. During the three here who knew Mr. Renstorm, for the eye blink during which he walks these hills, a woodcutter, a rain caller, a clock fetcher, each will speak of him if you listen. No, I will use none of our names. I do not wish to bewilder you. To which will you speak? The woodcutter. I knew Mr. Renstorm, yes. He was a good man, but he was unprepared for what he meant. Rainstorm was a man day-bound, you see. He knew little of the night. To him the moon was a thing of hazy grey-white, a pale half-circle against the blue sky. Never had the moon illuminated for him a safe way through the shittering dark. Never had the moon glared at him yellow and monstrous from just above the distant treetops, and so Renstorm did not feel the respect that a less day-bound man would feel for the apparition before him. Only a weary fear made him keep his distance, the same fear with which he would regard any stranger he met. He had regarded me with that fear when first I met him, lost and alone then, but by the time he met his apparition in the grove, he was bolder and insolent. Dare you tread upon sacred ground, he said. Be you a servant of the moon, or be you none. Know that you will find no welcome here. Those might not have been the words. Whatever the words were, he said them in bold insolence. The Luma watched Renstorm with its big round eyes. It was patient and curious, as a Luma often is. It bobbled gently in the air. Its long arms hung swaying by its side. Its flesh robes fluttered in the cool autumn breeze. A Luma waits. I need say no more. Ooh, this is like some paranormal stuff. You've heard one memory left here by Mr. Renstorm. Will you hear more? I hear the rain caller. Renstorm the failure. The memory of him brings me shame. You are an interloper here, too, so thus you understand what it is to interlope among these hills. Rainstorm came from outside and stayed, the only one, a one of devotion and attunement. He had learned the paths of the rain. He learned them well. I know even you might sniff the wonderment of it. I think this rain that now I call. Try. Ha! You cannot see. But Rainstorm could, so and more. One day he would learn to sense what even I could not. It was not to be thus, as you know. His wanderings and the call of fate brought him to the last grove. I find this writing style kind of interesting. It's just very different from how how most of the stories that I read are, and it adds a whole level of like curiosity to what's going on. Next. When checking out a cup of tea, it says this is a cup of tea that I made for me. Watch it brew if you want to. And it's just a little cup of tea that's spinning around on this platform. I don't think we can really interact with it. It's more of a sort of like screensaver-y type thing. It does look like a rather nice cup of tea. I may actually want a cup of tea after watching this. Oh. Sounds like someone's humming as well. It's very relaxing. That's really interesting little creation. Next.